This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sophia Yvette.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of an HVAC company? Well, one may be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing our good neighbor, Felix Rodriguez with Fix It Felix. Felix, now it is great to have you on today, and we are so excited to learn all about you and your business. Please start off by telling our listeners just a little bit more about your company.
Okay, so we are Fix It Felix Heating and Conditioning. Is a family-owned company. It started 8 years ago, and we are a 5-star company, all the way from service to customers, and we got over 800 reviews throughout all our platforms, and they're all 5 stars because we take care of people.
Amazing. Now, how did you and your family originally get started with this business, Felix?
Okay, well, mine is a little bit different than so I was incarcerated for 15 years for robbing a bank, and so when I educated myself in prison, and I end up with a marketing management degree and over 8,000 hours in education. I transformed my life in prison. I got my HVAC degree certification in prison as well. And when I came out, I just knew I was going to own an air conditioning business, and here we are. So that's how Fix It Felix came to be, by the movie Wreck-It Ralph.
Wow. Now, it sounds like you've come such a long way, and I'm sure on your own personal development and growth journey too, it really sounds like. But, today in the HVAC industry, what is that most common misconception you come across?
Misconception. I believe that the main thing that comes across, and it's not a misconception, it's just reality. I believe that there's a lot of selling in the business, and I just try to stay away from that part, and I think customer service is not the same. There's a lot of things in the HVAC industry that is putting us down to some good business owners, and I hope I can change that one day, by doing what we do, by treating people the right way, and giving the right customer service. So I wish we can. I hope we can do that for the customers. Yeah.
Felix, before we get a little bit deeper here, I want to ask you, when you were locked up, what was that turning point for you where you were like, I'm really ready to start a new life?
Well, I was in trouble all the time. So I grew up in the streets and in trouble all the time. So I was even homeless at 21 in Connecticut for a whole year. And so when I believe that prison changed my life, because when I got locked up, 3 years into the waiting for sentence, I looked up, and there were people going into a chapel inside the prison, and I was just looking up and seeing everybody going in there, and I was just a hard-headed kid, at 24, and I said, what the heck, I'm just gonna go in, and that day the Lord Jesus Christ transformed my life. That day I heard a message about Paul, how he was transformed by God, when he called him, he knocked him down, and he went blind. And Paul was a persecutor of the church. He was killing Christians. And when God did that to him, it's just like God was talking to me. And from that day forward, I couldn't be the same person. I was crying. I was repented. And that was my turning point. I believe that God came into my life that day I became a different person. That's when I started educating myself, getting my GED, reading the Bible, and I was just transformed. I was facing life in prison with the death penalty.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So I called my lawyer and I just told him I'm ready to come to admit my crimes, and whatever they want to give me, I'm fine with it. I just want to get it over with, and you know, I want to accept responsibility for what I did, and that's what I did. You know?
Wow. Well, I truly believe God really meets us where we are. Now, let's go ahead and switch gears for a second. You've come so far. Let's talk about growth. When it comes to marketing really is the heart of every business. So, today, who are some of those target customers that you're looking to help, and how are you attracting them?
So what we usually what we do is I target residential. That's where we're at. We're mostly residential HVAC company, and I target them through networking. I target them through Facebook, a little bit of my Google and my website, but mostly it comes from networking and word of mouth. So I don't spend a lot of money on advertising, but it has gone well the way we've been doing it with networking. Yeah.
Wow. So, Felix, if you were given the opportunity, would you ever want to have your own podcast for the business?
Um, it's something I've thought about it, but I'm growing the business possibly to get out one day. So I don't know. That's a good question because if I would, yes, I will say yes. I would say yes.
Now, circling back to your business, you've shared so much great information today, but what is that number one takeaway you would like our listeners to really gather today about Fix It Felix?
Repeat that question again.
You've shared a lot of great information with us today, but what is the number one takeaway you would like our listeners to gather about Fix It Felix?
Yes, that Fix It Felix is all about taking care of people. Um, if you know Felix, you will, and you will get to know my business. You'll get to know Fix It Felix because I trickle down everything that I do. I trickle down to all my employees, and that's why we continue to stay 5-star company. Because I believe that the customer is always right. I believe that there's no other way than just that. Even if we lose money, even if it means even if the customer is wrong, they're always right, and that's what I would like the listeners to get from this, that we are always going to take care of you and we're going to put them first. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So, really, what you would say is that it really comes down to customer service and putting other people first.
Yes.
Now, final question for you. Where can our listeners go to learn more about Fix It Felix?
Well, they can find me on Facebook. They can go to my website, fixitfelixhvac.com. They can also check out all the reviews on Google, my business. Yeah, on Instagram, all the small platforms that we use to.
Well, Felix, I really appreciate you being on the show today, and we wish you and your business the best moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpfrisco.com. That's gnpfrisco.com, or call 469-221-9345.